Hi, Jack Canfield here with another segment of Talking About Success. And today I'm talking with Gabriella Laszinger, who lives in Switzerland, I believe. And you are someone who has spent 16 years working in Nepal doing a humanitarian project called Happy Children.
That's right.
And I think it's important when we talk about success, I talk about 7 areas of success which have to do with financial and job and career and health and business. But one of them is called contribution, giving back, making a difference, philanthropy in the world. And your work is all about that. So I'm really glad to welcome you here and talk about your project, Happy Children. I don't think when you went to Nepal the first time, you thought you were going there to start a project called Happy Children. You were just a tourist, I think. What happened?
That's right.
How did you get into this work? How did you get captured, as it were?
That's right. I was a simple backpack tourist, and I was looking out for big spiritual moments or deep moments. But I ended up in the slums, in the dirt of the slums. And there was a little boy with his brother, full of flies, full of wounds, and he was touching my face and looking deeply into my eyes with his hunger in the eyes, and he was saying, "Please don't leave, I want to remember you, you know, please don't leave because I'm afraid." And that was a very special moment for me to just not being able to go back to my country, to leave all these children, and to just think, oh, well, what can I do? I can't do much, of course. But that was actually the turning point that I thought I can't just let them suffer anymore.
And did you stay at that point, or did you go back home and then come back again? What happened?
I tried to find a home for them, and then I went back, but I came back then after 2 months, and then I saw them worse than on the street, even
Really?
though I paid money for them. And that was actually the point where I thought I have to rent a house and I have to open my own orphanage. But I never intended to.
And you were there, you'd been there for 16 years.
Yeah.
And when you started, these children were how old?
The smallest was about 1 year old.
Really,
Yeah.
really. And in 16 years, now has that, the smallest child, been in your orphanage that entire time?
Yes.
And I think you showed me a picture earlier
Yes.
about I think it was called the graduating class or something like that.
That's true, yes.
And this is one of the people that you've been with them for 16 years.
Yes.
And where is he now? What's his future look like?
He's still in the home, because my aim is to give these children a real chance. They are not going out after graduation. They are going for higher studies.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
But still living in the orphanage while they're doing
and
that.
they can stay with us till they really finish all their education, all their vocational training or bachelor studies, and then we try to find a work for them.
That's quite profound. Now, there are a lot of humanitarian projects on the world. I mean, around.
That's
just
true.
Lots of them. In your mind, what makes yours different? What is it about yours that is unique?
Of course, there are many people, many great people doing great things. Well, I think my project is just unique, first of all, because I lived with them. You know, I stayed with them. I tried to give them dignity, or give them their dignity back. And just to make them feel they are not forgotten from the world. You know, that we all are still thinking with them. So they lost their fear. And for me, it's not about filling their stomachs, their empty stomachs. It's not even just about giving them education. For me, always the most important point was to help them to find their spiritual light or their inner light, and to be the change they want to see in the world. So that means to really be good people, good human beings, to give love, you know, to have empathy for other people and even for animals, which is a crucial point in Nepal. But that was the most important factor for me, that they can make a change one day in their own country. And I really believe that is already happening, or that will happen more and more. You know, one day. And I also believe that this impact is not only for these children individually. You know, I believe that's for all of us, because the more we include these people, even just in our thoughts, it will make a change in the world, and it will give peace to the world.
I believe that too. Now, you went to Nepal originally backpacking.
Yes.
In search of spiritual experiences,
That's
enlightenment
true.
perhaps, whatever it was that attracted you there.
Of course, yes.
And you found yourself with a house full of children at some point.
That's true, yeah.
And their lives have obviously been transformed. How has that experience transformed you?
Well, from empty stomachs, I filled, I became a strong soul.
Mm-hmm.
And I have never imagined to meet spirituality in that way. And it was a very hard way because I thought sitting on the meditation pillow is much easier, to close my eyes and to sing the Om. But it changed my life tremendously by learning a lot about active spirituality, lived spirituality, about love, mainly about forgiveness. And I think that I got further the way.
So be careful what you ask for. You actually found it, but it wasn't exactly the way.
That's very true, yeah.
So instead of chanting Om, you created a home.
That's true, yes.
Very good, very good. Well, I think your project is really quite wonderful, and I think you're an amazing woman to have committed your life to that and to be such a servant. But the benefit is what you just said. Now, what would you say to other people in terms of the value of this, of being generous or being contributing, not just thinking about self? How does that, I mean, I know you encourage people to do that, and I know you bring people on journeys to Nepal to have experiences like that.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that.
I think that's very important. I know the people are tired to hear that because everybody has its own problems. Every family, every nation has its own problems.
Right.
But it's, I think about giving back to the world in whatever way. And if it is just love, if it is just a good feeling, it is very much, because it means the world to these people, not only in Nepal, I think, everywhere. And the joy and the happiness of giving is beyond everything. I mean, no matter how hard things were, but when I saw their happy faces, that is just beyond imagination. And I think that's about it. We shouldn't be afraid to give. We will still have enough.
Yes.
And we should try that.
Yes.
We should really try that, because I lived so many years under extreme situations without any money. But as you see, I'm still surviving, or I'm still okay.
Yeah.
And just to give, to contribute, to give back to the world, I think will heal the world. So it's kind of be good, do good, and feel good.
There you go. There you go. Now, I've had many friends who were depressed and then who went and served somebody else.
Yeah.
A friend of mine went to, it was either Tibet or Nepal, and built some homes when she was depressed. And as a result of that, she found her purpose in life and was healed from her depression. And to this day runs a foundation where she's educating young girls in Africa.
Yes.
So I think it's important to find some way to give. We talk about tithing in all the great religions, giving a tenth of your income, a tenth of your time. And so it's not like everyone has to go and live in Nepal for 16 years.
No, absolutely
but
not.
Certainly to be able to give 10 or 20 days of volunteer time or a certain portion of your income to people like you who do live in Nepal and are on the front lines, I think is important for everybody. I know the times that I reach out and do that, I am always uplifted. I always get more back than I ever give.
Absolutely.
Absolutely true.
Yes,
Very good. Well, that's exciting. So if people want to contribute to your organization or find out more about it, or maybe go on one of the trips to Nepal with you, where would they go? How do they find out more?
Our website is www.happy- or is that dash?
A minus sign, like a dash?
children.de. There is also an English version there.
So happy-children.de.
That's right, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good. Well, I encourage all of you to check it out and to really think about this organization, because this woman's doing great work and could use your support, as those kids in Nepal could use. But if not that, then find something in your local community. Just be inspired by this to give more. And as you do that, you'll find that your level of joy and happiness will grow. And when we only think about ourselves, it doesn't happen. When we're thinking about others as well, and we contribute, something happens. We actually know now that when you're contributing acts of kindness into the world, your serotonin levels, your oxytocin levels, all these things actually increase. Your own joy will increase. So don't deprive yourself of that experience. So thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. And for all of you, go out and create the world of your dreams. And remember, while you're doing that, there are some people in the world Many, I've heard as many as half living on less than $2 a day. That's one Starbucks coffee for money view. Make a little contribution. I think it'll make you feel a lot better and it'll do a lot of good. So we'll see you next time. Until then, go out and live a great life.